Aha, I think we are now live. Hi, everyone. If you can hear us, please let us know. We just went live, and we're very, very thrilled to have you meet with us this morning. Give us a yes or no so we know whether you can hear us. Hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't seen any yes, but I'm just assuming that they already started hearing us since we've gone live. Thank you so much for agreeing to come talk to us this morning. As I was telling you previously, I um, I hosted Dr. Lumide about 2 weeks ago, and we went on and talked about the education pathway to Australia. We
Yeah.
really focused on education, which means nursing is included. And in the
Yeah.
process, Dr. Lumide just gave us an idea of the IREM program. And
Okay.
I tweeted this, and after tweeting it, it opened up the floodgates, which means my inbox was full on every platform. People wanting to know more information about this nursing programs, and people really wanting to know because he also touched base on the science laboratory technology opportunity, and
Good.
we are looking to you as somebody who has done that to help us demystify and understand what are the processes involved. Guys, you're welcome to our first broadcast on YouTube Live. And the reason why we decided to do this is it's probably better because these videos usually from Instagram ends up on YouTube anyway. So I thought let's just do it on YouTube, makes it easy so I don't have to start uploading to YouTube again. So welcome, feel comfortable. And our guest is here to help us. Why is Yomi the right person to talk to us this morning? One thing that I strongly believe is that the person who just did something is the right person to ask for information. Yomi just did this process. So she's very familiar with the entirety of the process. Also in Canada, everything changes after 2 years, 3 years. So somebody
Yeah.
who went through a process 5 years ago may actually not know the recent process. So we decided to find someone who has just done it or who's going through the process to explain this process to us. So I will tell you a bit about Yomi from bio. Um, Yomi is a registered nurse with 9 years of experience in community nursing, and she holds a master's degree in epidemiology. She worked previously at Zenith Health and Lagos University Teaching Hospital called LUTH prior to relocating to Australia in 2016. She has advised and helped a few individuals relocated to Australia since she herself relocated. And she is happy to walk us through the DIY process to becoming a nurse, a registered nurse in Australia. And she's going to talk about the bridging program. And Yomi also has a consulting company that actually helps people who would like to relocate to Australia. As you all know, we want to walk you through the DIY process so you are familiar with it. But if you ever feel like you need more, maybe consultation wise, or you need her to help you with the process, should be happy to do that. As an advocate of DIY, I always say
Mhm.
do it yourself only when you get stuck. That is when you're allowed to go find the experts to help you. Yomi, is there anything that I left out that you would like me to include or you would like to include?
No, I think you covered it all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Um, Based on some of the questions that you all have sent to me previously, I have
Mm.
compiled a few questions for Yomi that she'll be helping us answer this morning. So, and I sent it to her already, but I also got slides from her. So, Yomi, I'm wondering, I'm not sure I know how to share slides on here yet, but
Yeah, I have no idea too, but you could always send it, to people after today. Doesn't
okay,
matter. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So, how I would like us to get started, if it's okay, is We would like to hear about it all. The Iron Program.
Okay.
What is it? And what is the process like? Is it still available in Australia?
Okay. So the Iron program is something that was in place prior to March of 2020 this year. So before this March 2020, if you apply to APRA means the Australian Health Practitioner Association in Australia. They are the ones that actually help to like register all health practitioners, not just nurses. So these people help to register nurses on behalf of the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia. So before March this year, once you send in your application, they assess you and then they say, okay, they give you a referral letter and say, go do the bridging course, which is the Iron program. But that has been scrapped now. So for people who apply from March this year, you are going to be doing like an outcome-based assessment. It's called the OBA, which has several steps. So
Before you move on, I want to emphasize the scrapping. So, 2 weeks ago, we heard about the Iron Program.
yeah,
Everyone was excited. There's a path to go to Australia as a nurse. Let's all of us go. You're
yeah.
making drop that bomb on all of us. That program has been scrapped in March of 2020. What
Yeah.
is sad news? But there is
I,
a replacement. So she's going to tell us what the replacement is. Thank you.
so the replacement is this outcome-based assessment, which has like lots of steps to get through before you can get registered as a nurse in Australia. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. For the Iron program, people who submitted an application before March of this year will be getting the option to either do the bridging course or to do the OBA, that's the outcome-based assessment. I submitted my application for registration last year, June, and I did not get my letter of referral until January this year. And I got the option of either doing a bridging course or doing the OBA. So that's why I was able to, start the bridging course. So, but people who might tell you that, oh, they got a referral letter to do a bridging course now, they probably submitted their application before March this year.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So, so I'll just go through the steps.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did a bit of research and, just looking at average salary of registered nurses in Australia. And the average salary of a registered nurse per week is 1,500 Australian dollars in a week. So, which is about 6,000 in a month. And Australia is always going to be looking for nurses. There's always going to be shortage of the nursing staff
Can I
because
say something about our calculator where it's Nigerian naira?
ah,
How many dollars per week?
1,500.
1,500 Australian dollars.
Yeah.
I need like to calculate it. So 1,500 Australian dollars to naira, it's equal to 423,776 naira. So if you're listening in, me just told us, the process is now a lot harder. But if you're listening in, you are a Nigerian nurse, you are a Ghanaian nurse, you are an Indian nurse, you probably know the difference between what your me just told us that you can make weekly and what you currently make weekly or monthly back home. Whether
Yeah.
it is minus tax or not minus tax, whether you are going to pay rent or not. I am just trying to emphasize here that there is a better life for you somewhere.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to do that, you need to give it to it. You deserve more than you're being paid today. You do. Thank you.
Thank you. There are about 30,000 jobs in Australia for nurses every year. So there's never going to be shortage of that. And then the career opportunities for nurses are endless here. Like there are different specialties that you've not even thought about that you find in Australia. Find things like travel nursing, and the other common ones, which we all know, mental health nursing, pediatric nursing, and the likes. For me, when I started doing nursing in Nigeria, I wasn't really I didn't really like the idea of bedside nursing, which is like the clinical parts of nursing. I was more into like community nursing, which is why I decided to go back and do my master's degree in public health.
Sorry,
And
I'm trying to tweet the number of jobs available. Is that a yearly number?
yes,
What is the number again?
30,000 jobs.
Thank you.
Yeah. So here you have options of community nursing. I can decide after I get registered to go and do like a graduate certificate course in that aspect of nursing. So the opportunities are endless here. So moving on from that, I'll just run through the steps. So when I tell people, okay, there's opportunity for you in Australia, come to Australia, the first thing I tell you is go and do an English test. It's either you do the IELTS or the PTE test. Now, talking about the English test, I have like my story is one hell of a story. I did the English exam maybe up to 15 times. Before I left Nigeria to come to Australia, I did it about, I think, 5 or 6 times. I wasn't, getting the score I needed in the writing band in particular. Coming to Australia as well, I did it over and over again, over and over again. I was getting frustrated. Sometimes I just leave it for like 6 months and just forget about it. And because some people will ask, oh, you've been in Australia for 4 years, how come you are just getting registered? And, I tell them that it's my English. I have all my documents ready, just this English. So the English test is the first thing you need to do. You need to get 7 in each band if you are doing an IELTS. The PT is a bit easier, I feel, because I did the PT as well about 5 or 6 times, and I eventually passed it.
I wish you met me when you were trying to write this English exam.
What did you say?
I said, I wish you met me when you were trying to write this English exam, because maybe I would have had some good pointers for you. One of the pointers that I tell people on my mentorship program is to use the Magoosh material. I don't know if anyone is familiar with it. Magoosh material for IELTS is one of the best material on the market. Everyone on my mentorship program who had challenged IELTS with that material has come back with a CLB 9.
Wow.
Yes. This material allows you to do a mock exam. I'm just going to talk about it a little. You have an opportunity to take 4 mock exams. So I think one of the areas is that everyone you read all those materials online for IELTS, but you're not able to evaluate yourself before you go and write it. So you don't know which areas am I weak at. Which is it my writing that I'm weak at that I need to beef up? Is it my speaking that I'm weak at? Because of that, you may be good at 1 or 2 areas and be deficient in the rest and not know if all you did was practicing. What I like about that material, the material, is you have the 4 mock exams. So you can repeatedly take mock exams to check your speed and accuracy. They also have, for each of the questions, they have 600 past questions. Each of the questions, they have an explanation video. So if you choose an option, they will explain why is that option wrong or correct. So you have an in-depth understanding of each of the questions because somebody provided an explanation answer. And lastly, you can buy a package where they can actually grade your writing. So you can write, and then they grade your writing. A professional will grade your writing to tell you what is your writing style. What will that earn you in IELTS? I believe that it is possible for you to be able to pass IELTS once with the right material. I say to people, if you want to go abroad, you need to invest. You will invest time, you will invest a lot of resilience, and you have to invest money. If you're going out there looking for all the free resources in the world to go abroad, let me tell you, you are deceiving yourself. You would waste time. There are materials that are not free, that are just a little bit of money. It will save you some time. If you are trying to write IELTS, I can swear that by my push material, they don't pay me 1 naira. But I can tell you, I've recommended that material to over 20 people, and none of them score less than CLB 8 in all of the categories. Go and 2021, my aim for you is to jackpot leave that Nigeria. Whether I don't, I'm going to not make you just jackpot. You will go to the right country.
Yeah.
You will go there with an aim to thrive. You will go there with all the preparation and information you need, but I will need you to support yourself with a lot of resilience, with ability to actually say, I'm ready to put my money where my mouth is. I will need you to really follow through on things. Stop looking for free things. Magush is not free. I'm not the owner, but I know it is good material. I'm not saying you should not go and use Lee's IELTS, but you can't get graded using that. Thank you, Yomi.
Okay. So that's step one. Now, the second step is to assess your ability to meet the registration requirements before even moving further. Now, there are some things that there are some standards that the NMBA, which is the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia, expects an internationally qualified nurse to meet. And one of it is the English test. Others are the International Criminal History Check. So on the APRA website, on the slide that I sent to you, Dr. Adi, I've put in the links for that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's in there, but there's another document I'll send to you later as well. The links are in there. So you must use, there are two companies that APRA uses, and those are the two companies. You can use either of the other to do that criminal history check. They're just checking to see if you've committed an offense in another country. So for every country you have lived in the last 6 months, you must do a criminal history check for. The criminal history check is 159 Australian dollars for the fit to work, because there are two companies, and the AIS International is a bit cheaper. It's $149. Now, it depends on the country. So if you're from Ghana, the price is going to differ. You just need to, click on the link, check the country you're from to check for the price, and then you can go ahead and do. So just compare which one is cheaper. But I know for Nigeria, the AIS International is cheaper. Also, you need to assess your recency of practice. And what's recency of practice? Recency of practice has been defined as you having an experience of at least 400 hours paid work as a nurse in the last 5 years, which I'm sure everybody will have. And like you were saying, like in Canada, things change every 2 years. This recency of practice used to be 2 years of experience in the last 5 years. So this has changed, which will favor more people, because 400 hours of work should be about less than 6 months of work. So that is good. There's something called a professional indemnity insurance arrangement, you must meet that standard as well. And that just means that you need to ensure that, or you need to sign an agreement. Usually when you're filling the form for the registration, there's a part that will say, do you agree to ensure that you have professional indemnity insurance arrangement? And you just tick yes. It just means that you are agreeing to ensure that you have insurance for any Australian employer you work with. Usually the employer would have this, but it is your responsibility to ensure that that you are covered. So if the employer tells you, oh, we don't have that, it is your responsibility to ensure that you have a private cover. So moving on, the NNBA has like 3 criteria that you need to meet. And out of the 3 criteria, you must meet at least 2. So now this all just means that, number 1, your qualification must be recognized by the assessing body of your country. And for Nigeria, that's the Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. Secondly, your course must have been accredited at the time you were studying. Now, this is the part where the Nigerian qualification falls short of for some reason, because I thought also that my course was accredited while I was a student, but when I submitted my documents and everything, you know, I couldn't meet that criteria, which is why I had to go do the bridging course.
So what do you mean by accredited? Can you explain a bit?
So accreditation means, you know, the way courses in universities must be approved, sort of. Like their accreditation. So the accreditation team for nursing courses in Nigeria is the Nursing and Midwifery Council. So if a university wants to do a nursing or wants to offer a nursing course, it has to be accredited.
So yes, what you're saying is, even if the school is accredited, the nursing program may not be accredited.
Yes.
So if you're going into a nursing program in Nigeria, you need to confirm that nursing program has been accredited. So ASU accreditation does not cover for the nursing.
Yeah. So that's where we fall short of, because now that the whole system has changed, because APRA, you know, they've done this a million times. They already know the countries whose qualifications will meet this criteria. And Nigeria has been, like, they already put Nigeria under the column of unlikely to meet. Yes, so that will automatically put you in a different stream. I'll talk more about that later. And then
I'm wondering, is it because we have too many nursing programs that were not accredited? Is that why we fell on?
So it's because they have done a lot of assessments and they've noticed that people who come from Nigeria don't always have that criteria passed. Yeah. So because usually there's a document you need to send to your school where you graduated from, that they will fill it and then attach a document that shows that your so for example, if you studied between 2011 and 2006 and 2011, your school must have a document to show that between that time the course was accredited.
So what if you have gone to a nursing school?
So so I'm going to talk about that. That's the third criteria.
Okay.
The third criteria, your qualification must meet the Australian qualification framework of level 7, and that is a bachelor's degree. So for those that went to School of Nursing that have a diploma, they won't be able to go through this route. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I have a friend here, so she tried it. She went to School of Nursing, but they didn't give her. They told her that the next step for her would be to go back and do a bachelor's degree.
So if you have done a nursing program for a nurse from a nursing school and it's
Yeah,
counted as a diploma,
yeah.
if you're trying to get into a bachelor's degree program in nursing in Australia, will they count that as maybe 2 years for you or some years so that you don't have to do everything from scratch?
No,
No.
no.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Shall I scream from the top of the please don't do nursing school or you need a bachelor's degree as a nurse. I,
Yeah.
I and I understand that over 50% of nurses in Nigeria actually went to nursing school.
Yeah. So in Australia, there are two levels of nursing: the registered nurse and the enrolled nurse. So they say if in your country you have those two levels, we can assess you based on either of the level. So assuming in Nigeria we had the level of enrolled nurse, people who have diploma in nursing will be able to apply for enrolled nursing. But
Okay,
because that level isn't there, they can't opt to apply for enrolled nursing.
I don't
Do you understand?
understand it. So there is the practical nurse 2 year path, like the enroll nurse,
So
but
the enrolled nurse is equivalent to people who went to school of nursing. Is a
okay,
diploma in nursing.
okay,
So when you come out, you are not a registered nurse, you are an enrolled nurse.
yes, but can people from Africa who did that previously get into that program?
Yeah, so you can come to Australia and decide you want to be an enrolled nurse. That's fine.
Is there a
But
bridge
you can't.
program for them?
So there will be a bridging program for that as well. The not the bridging program, this thing I'm talking about. So instead of saying you're applying to be a registered nurse, you say you're applying to be an enrolled nurse. But you have to still school in Australia because we don't have enrolled nursing in Nigeria, you can't transfer that qualification. Do you understand? Yeah.
I'm going to tweet that statement. Yeah, we need an upgrading of our nursing schools, or
Yeah.
they just scrap them completely because it is a waste of time if those people would get a nursing school certificate and they cannot use it outside of the country the way they would like. It is
Yeah.
just a waste of time completely. It would be great for them to have an option of getting a bachelor's degree. It should make the option available.
Yeah. Yes, so those are the three criteria, and we usually don't meet the second criteria, which is why we will now fall on. So I'll explain the stream later. So after this, you've assessed yourself. Next thing is to do a self check on the APRA website, and it's free. So it's just like saying you go online, say you want to complete a self check. It just gives you like options. You put your name in, your degree, the school, the country your qualification is from, and the year you finished or something like that. So it then generates a stream for you based on the information you've put in. So, like I said, because Nigeria qualifications don't, we only pass the criteria 1 and 2, we will now fall under stream B. So there's stream A, stream B, and stream C. Stream A are those that will pass criteria 1 and 2. Now for stream B, those are the people that pass 1 and 3, which will be the Nigerian qualification. So after this is when we now go to the OBA, the outcome-based assessment. But before you can proceed, you have to pay a fee, the IQNM fee, 640 Australian dollars. And once you pay that, you can now, so the OBA is in 2 parts. So we have the orientation part, you have the multi-choice question part, which is an online exam that is conducted by Pearson VUE, the same one that does the PTE exam, and is the same as the NCLEX exam for that is done in Canada and the US. So Australia is just trying to incorporate the NCLEX exam. You understand? So the good thing about that is for anyone who is in the US or Canada that has done that NCLEX exam in the last 10 years, it will be skipped for you. You won't have to redo that part. So like I said, there are parts of to that, to completing the assessment stages, and the orientation part is like an online component that just teaches you, what the Australian healthcare system is all about, because it's definitely different from what it is in Nigeria. So it just like trying to induct you, explain to you the things that go on in the Australian care system, where funding comes from, and the levels of healthcare system that is in Australia. So that's what the
I'm wondering, the
yeah.
entire process before you get to the exam, how long does it take? So if somebody is trying to do their police check, they're trying to write IELTS and get this last stage done, how
Yeah.
long does that entire 3 or 4 step process take?
I think as long as you are able to, do it as soon as you can. For example, from the moment you register and say you want to do the outcome based assessment, you have 90 days to complete that NCLEX exam. So in between the 90 days is when you probably do your the online component of it and all of that. So it's based on on how will I put it, like on the speed you want to go at. Some people like to take their time, and some people like to do it, because every step needs money. If you
Mhm.
get what I mean. Yeah. So if I after paying $640, I'll need to cough out another $4,000. So that period, I can use it to say, okay, let me use it to gather funds. Or if I have the money, why not? You can just go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you is it possible to do all of these processes from Nigeria or from somewhere else?
So yeah, so that's another part. For the NCLEX exam, um, because I tried, going through the process, like I wanted to do the NCLEX exam, and the closest one to Nigeria is in South Africa. The closest testing center is in South Africa. Now, for there's another part of it that you need to do in Australia. So I would say, why not do everything in Australia if
But
I still have to come to do it in Australia?
so what we're saying here is this. People are looking for, how do I become a nurse in Australia and get the papers,
Yeah,
right? And what we're looking for is a pathway where before they leave Nigeria, they have some sort of papers that is because they're a nurse, right? Like
yeah,
the Canadian one, Canada also has a sort of a bridging program. I'm hoping to bring a nurse to come talk to us about that, guys. And you can start that within Nigeria. And
okay,
because of that, I think you would get some sort of papers to be able to come into the country. So because
yeah,
if all they want to do is this NCLEX exam, will they give them visa? If they are coming to take the NCLEX exam, how long will the process take? What is the guarantee that the visa will be granted? And if they do the NCLEX exam, does that mean they go back home and wait for the result, or they could stay down back there and get the results and transition straight into nursing?
yeah. So when you, I'm just gonna like so the part where you can do from Nigeria is just the orientation part. That's the online component. When you want to do the NCLEX exam part, it can't be in Nigeria. There's none in Ghana. I tried all those surrounding countries to Nigeria, but they are not. So usually people who do the bridging course apply for a visitor's visa and come into the country. The visitor's visa is usually a 3-month visa. And during this time, you're allowed to study, but you can't work. So in that time, you should be able to do your NCLEX exam and do the OSCE part of it, which is the one that is mandatory you do in Australia. So I think if you are able, because the truth is, if you are coming to Australia and say you want to come in as a visitor and you give them all the documents that is required, they have no reason to deny you, if you get what I mean. Yes, so in that time frame, you can do all you need to do in that time frame, and you don't have to go back. And there are ways also you can use to stay back, that your visitor's visa changes into a bridging visa, which is another story entirely. You understand what I mean? So it's something that can happen if that's the path you want to go through.
Yeah. So if they write the exam and pass the exam, do
Yeah.
they get the result on the spot? Will that enable them to get a job? Will that bridging visa be possible?
No, you can't get a job. So if you come in on a visitor's visa and then you apply for a different kind of visa while on a visitor's visa, your visitor's visa automatically gets cancelled, and then you go on a bridging visa. And it's that bridging visa that allows you to work. You can't work on a visitor's visa. But you can't even work as a nurse yet, because you're still in that process of getting registered. You understand? So you can't work as a nurse yet, but on that bridging visa you can work, but not as a nurse.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's the path I came in through. I came in on a visitor's visa because that was my plan. But because I didn't pass my English exam in that time frame of 3 months on a visitor's visa, I applied for another visa and then went on a bridging visa. So in that time, I was able to work, but not as a nurse. And, I was able to continue trying on my English as well and all of that. But yeah, I hope I'm explanatory enough. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. You can keep going.
Okay. So after the what's it called? The online component, there's a component before the NCLEX exam that is called the portfolio. You need to submit a portfolio to the APRA website. And all these things I'm saying, you'll be getting a prompt because you would have, registered your details. You have like an account. As you go through each stage, the next thing for you to do will pop up on your page. Like, it's your personal account, so it's going to be like following your steps and giving you pop-ups of next things to do. So it's something that is going to be very easy. It's not something that that will be difficult in, like, what do I do next? You understand? So for the portfolio, it's just your copy of your transcript and copy of your degree certificate. So those are the things that they will need, and also a photo identity. That's going to be like the international passport. So those are the things you'll need to submit for that. So immediately after you do that, that's when it's going to prompt you to pay for the NCLEX exam. So now the NCLEX exam is $350. The exam itself is $200. Is in USD, but they actually charge you an international scheduling fee of $150. I don't know why, but that's what they do. So in total, it's 350 USD.
We have a question here. Adelbe is asking, how long does it take to apply for the bridging visa? How long can a bridging visa last? Was it difficult switching from visitor's visa to bridging visa?
Okay, so you're not exactly applying for a bridging visa. You're applying for So if you're on a visitor's visa, you're applying, you can either apply for maybe a student visa, for example. So immediately you apply for that visa, the new visa you're applying for, like in less than 5 minutes, you immediately get switched on to the bridging visa. It's an automatic thing. So you immediately get switched to the bridging visa while you await a decision on the new visa you have applied for. Does that make sense?
Okay. So
Yeah.
people can come in as a visitor, and when
Yes.
they're in there, they apply to go to school.
Yes.
And then they would give you the bridging visa while you await the decision for this
Yeah.
for the bachelor's or whatever school you want to go.
Yes.
So that means if you're ever coming to Australia to do this program, you should have it in your back pocket that you would be applying for maybe a master's degree.
Yeah.
And you'd come in, you'd take all the exams and apply for the visa for the master's degree, and then get switched to the bridging visa.
Yeah. So it all depends on how long it takes you to, complete this. You understand? So because the 3 months visa, you can apply for like a new visa, like maybe a day to the expiration of your current visa. You understand? So if it's something you finish earlier, you will still even have to apply for it anyway, because the time between then and the time you apply for a permanent residence is still going to be a while, because it's still a fair bit of process. So that applying for another type of visa just lets you stay longer in the country.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
wondering, for people who didn't study nursing,
Yeah.
who studied maybe biochemistry, microbiology, is there a path for them to switch to nursing?
So for people who don't have a background in nursing, you can come in to Australia to do a master's in nursing by coursework. So you can apply to any school and decide, okay, I want to do a master's in nursing, and you get registered at the end of that course. It's
You
usually
start
years.
as a nurse.
Yeah. So you would also do this application for registration thing I'm talking about, but the process will be different for you because you studied in Australia, but you are still going to get registered.
Wow. So anyone with any background can apply into a master's degree. If
Yeah.
you get in, you spend the years for the master's degree, you can convert that because you did that master's in nursing, you'll be allowed to register as a nurse to practice.
Yeah. So my sister-in-law is here. She did sociology in Nigeria. She came here, did a master's in nursing, registered as a nurse, and she's good to go. She's working as a nurse. And usually for people like that, because you don't have the background, so to say, in nursing, most people usually go into mental health nursing, because mental health nursing is not as technical. Sorry, yes, it's not as technical as, say, if I wanted to work in a cardiac unit or in the accident and emergency. So the mental health nursing is an area of nursing where you see a lot of Africans who do not have a background in nursing, but they are thriving. You understand? So that's another pathway as well.
So
Everyone has,
somebody
if
is
you have,
asking here that if you have a master's, a pharmacy or medical degree, like a doctor,
yeah,
can you go through this route where you're coming for a master's degree and then get registered as a nurse?
yeah, why not? I have a friend here. She's a doctor from Nigeria. In fact, she came in, and because that's another thing, when you're coming to do a course in Australia, you can't just come in and do any course. There's a skills occupation list which you have to go through and say, oh, the course I'm about to do, is it a relevant course in Australia? Is it a course that I'll be able to use as a pathway to get my PR? So that skills occupation list is a list of occupations that you can apply for a permanent resident with. So she came in and to study public health, and then realize that, oh, there's nothing, like what she's doing has no prospect at all when it comes to, applying for a permanent residence, and she dropped it and then went to do a BSc in nursing. She's a medical doctor. So if that's a pathway, because even the pathway for doctors is another ballgame entirely, it's a very long pathway to
Okay.
becoming a doctor here. So that's a pathway that doctors can also go through. Yeah.
So I'm wondering, for the masters in nursing, do you have to have gone through specific bachelor's degree program or anyone at all?
Anyone at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is great. Well, if you're listening in today, you have a bachelor's in anything. You just heard from Yomi that it is possible for you to use your bachelor's to apply for master's degree in nursing, and hopefully you get in, and with that you'll be able to register as a nurse. I believe the master's program is a 2-year program, and that
Yeah.
would
Also, sorry, Dr. Ali, it's a master's degree in nursing by coursework, not by research. If you do the one by research, you don't get registered as a nurse. You don't get the RN registration.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm. So the one by coursework gives you something similar to what you would have done in the bachelor space, because
Yeah.
it's
Sort of. Yeah.
rigorous. It's you go through all the different courses. I get it.
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, Yummy, do you want to go on, or do you want me to ask a few questions
Yeah,
that
you
I
can ask. Yeah, that's fine.
um hold on a sec. Let me pull up the list of questions that I had for Yummy. Um, so you've talked to us about the salary of a nurse. It looked like the pathway is long.
Yeah.
We're wondering whether there is, maybe you can expatiate a little bit on the overall timeline and the total amount of money you need. So if you're trying to register, there is already, you've made it clear to us 3 months will not be enough. You
Yeah.
need to come into the country. You probably won't get your visa rejected if you have everything planned.
Yeah.
You need to cross over to wanting to go to school, then you can get the bridging visa. And then
Yeah.
you still have some other steps to complete the registration. How long does the process take? The entire one, for an average timeline. How much money will it take for the entire process from start to finish to the point where you're a registered nurse? How long? How much?
Hmm. That's a bit difficult to estimate, but in saying that, I would say if I were to estimate how much it would take for from the time you apply for the from the time you do a self check till the time you apply for registration, I would say you'll be spending up to $6,000 Australian dollars, and this is excluding application for a visitor's visa, application for a student visa, application for money for tickets to come to Australia. That's totally out of it. What else? The good thing about it is once you go on a bridging visa, you are able to work unrestricted hours. You can work as a full-time staff on the bridging visa. So that's the good thing about that. On a student visa, you can only work 40 hours in a fortnight. So the time frame to get registered between it varies. Like I said, when I applied for mine, it took them 6 months or 7 months before they answered me. And a friend of mine applied just after in December, and she got a letter for referral in February. So it all depends on individual circumstances, I think, on the timeline.
Okay.
Yeah,
From the look of things, it to me it feels like maybe a better approach if you're trying to go to Australia is to try to go for a master's degree.
yeah,
My suggestion would be whether you are trying to apply for as a nurse or not, go trying to get a master's degree.
yeah,
In the process of getting the master's degree, you can already start to do all the exams.
yeah, sure.
Do all the exams, do all your registration processes, but be doing the master's degree because that affords you the opportunity to work. That affords you
Yeah,
the opportunity to also know that if they didn't take my Nigerian degree because they said it was not accredited, at least with my master's degree, I will not have that problem.
yeah,
Because me has pointed out a couple of things we need to note here. Accreditation can be a problem, even if you have a bachelor's in nursing. They may say that you're not accredited after you have already started the process and now you're disappointed. That may not affect you if you're trying to apply for master's degree. And you may not even find out about the accreditation on time, right? But if you're going to do a master's degree anyway, if that program is not accredited, you don't have to worry too much. Also, on the bridging visa stuff, I'm not going to advise you to go to Australia as a visitor and get stuck and try to change visa. If you can go as a student on a master's degree program, you can start your registration easily and still be going to school with an aim that either way you would finish and get registered.
yeah,
And if you're not in nursing at all, this opportunity is also available to you. So you can look at schools that are affordable that will enable you do the 2-year course-based program and register. This session at least help us to clarify the path. There is a path. The easier one has been scrapped. The new one is a little complicated.
yeah,
There's a way around it. Go get a master's degree that is course based in nursing. Whether you have nursing degree or not, you should be able to get into that master's degree program. It's rigorous 2 years of hands-on and course based. So you would literally become a nurse at the end of it, be able to register. I think it's not bad a path for anyone who is looking at, I want to make this kind of money that Yomi said. The occupation is lucrative. There's a path to permanent residency there. I think this is the conclusion that I gave it. That
yeah,
yep, it's not a bad idea.
yeah, yeah. It's going to be like capital intensive as well. So it's not. It takes planning. It's not something that you can just say you want to do in one day. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of commitment as well. So
Okay,
yeah.
so somebody mentioned here asking for what schools would you recommend, and that if there are tuition waiver or scholarship opportunities for the nursing master's degree.
So schools, masters nursing is expensive. In Queensland, I think you still find some schools that are a bit cheaper in Queensland. So you just need to Google like masters in nursing in Queensland. You understand? And it will bring out those schools that offer that course. As for scholarship, there are schools that offer specific scholarship that would help to cover your tuition or study materials and all of that. They have a platform where you can apply for that as well.
The schools in Queensland.
Any school at all.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if you come in and with some money, you would be able to hopefully apply for scholarship to be able to subsidize or make
Yeah.
it work for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Queensland, they said it's a little cheaper. So if you're looking at programs, I say to people, there are some fields that it's hard to find scholarship. Nursing is one of them, all over the world. You're coming to Canada for a nursing program, don't expect scholarship. They don't give it.
Mm.
If you get into the program, maybe you could be lucky to get here and there some scholarships there. But you can't be coming to study nursing in Canada as well and expect that there is some full scholarship waiting for you. It won't happen. I
Yeah.
believe it's similar in Australia as well.
Yeah.
But if you come in, you will still be able to work. You'll be able to find some scholarships here and there if you do well, um, and try to kind of make it work. Why are we talking about this? This is we can't be looking. I've said this in the beginning. If your aim is to get everything free in life, your journey will be long.
Mm.
If your aim is it has to be free, it has to be free. Or if it's not free, I don't want to, you'll suffer a lot. What we need to be looking for is how do I find my way around the whole thing? How do I save enough to at least get myself in and find a way around making sure I'm able to pay my fees or I'm able to find a little scholarship here and there to augment.
Yeah.
And you have chose, I believe a lot of you are on here today because usually when we're having general sessions, we'll have hundreds of people. This session is tailored specifically to you, nurses. You are in nursing, you are currently in Africa, you're currently somewhere that you're not being appreciated. It is up to you to sit down and think about how do I find a way out of here in a cost effective and not too long time. It will not be free. There will be some fees to it. But my aim is for you to know your options, for you to not have to depend on hearsay of somebody said, that you know the available option to you. Do you want to discourage yourself and say it's too expensive, I can't do it? My dears, ignorance is more expensive.
Yeah.
Not doing it is extremely costly because it leaves you in the same location that you were yesterday that you were complaining.
Mm.
All right, Yomi, I'll let you share a few more things with us that you think people should think about. What are the watch outs if you're trying to move to Australia as they look for this master's degree opportunity? What areas you've mentioned Queensland? What are there states or provinces that you would say this province don't go there? This province could be better for you. Do you have such pointers for us?
Yes. So Tasmania is one of the states that if you study at least 1 year there, 1 to 2 years, you get nominated for a permanent residence. So people who come and study usually, you see a lot of Africans in Tasmania because they want to use that as a pathway to permanent residence. Not all states do that, but Tasmania is like the major one that does that. So if you want to look for schools to do a master's, I think you should even look into Tasmania as well, so that immediately after your master's degree and you get registered, you can get nominated by the Tasmanian government for a permanent resident. Queensland doesn't do that. They only do it for I think people who already have a job. If you already have a job in in the states, they can Queensland can sponsor you. So not all states have that um, that pathway. Another thing I would advise is if you are coming into Australia to study or whatever, try to come in with something that you can do on the side, if you get what I mean. Don't just come in and just say you want to rely on especially as a student, that you want to rely on your 20 hours a week job, because 20 hours a week at the end of the day, when you look at it, is not much. There are some companies that would let you work more than 20 hours a week, but you might not find. So it's better to come in with, like we say in Yoruba, isheowo, that you can do, whether it's to make hair, whatever it is that you think you can do and make money. Why not? You understand? For example, I make hair for people. I did not go to hairdressing salon to learn how to make hair. I have a cooking business. People who want to do party, I cook for them, they pay me. So those are the kind of things I'm talking about, like that you can think about and do on the side as well, that can bring in money. Yeah. What else? Yeah, so I think everyone should just try and look at Tasmania, Tasmania state, and look at what the nursing program they have there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Yomi. Yomi has provided some slides to me, and these slides have some links for anyone looking for more information about this nursing program. I think today I will have to tweet my what is it called? My mailing list again. I haven't been checking it too much, and I hope anyone who tries to put their email on the mailing list today, my team will try to send out the link to download your Miss slides to you. You can go through the slides. You can click on some of the links that she has there, and hopefully you are able to navigate the process. I know that this could be a little confusing. It's not easy. We have been focusing a lot of the efforts on Canada, and we have not done a whole lot of on Australia. So you may need to find Yomi on social media or on LinkedIn to be able to connect to her. So I'm going to also I'm going to link Yomi's Instagram ID to my next post. Please don't leave your email here. I'm not going to pick it up. Um, I'm going to link Yomi's information on Instagram. So you can try to contact her if you have questions. And hopefully she's able to direct you based on the fact that she's also still going through this process and can be of help to you. I haven't been to Australia before. I've been a fan of the country because of the diversity and multiculturalism that it has.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's English speaking and there could be opportunities there for Black people. I have a couple of friends there and I see that they're thriving. Is it going to be easy at all? It's not going to be easy. Is it going to be worth it for you? I think it will be worth it for you. Will it take resilience, energy, and time and money? Yes, it will. Are you up to this task? I know you are. If you are following me, you are my audience. You know my story. You know how I started. One thing that kept me going is that when there is a will, there is a way. If you want something, you put your mind to it, you fight for it, and you put God in it. I believe it is doable. Will it take time? It will. Australia, Canada, and the US, all of these countries, they are not countries that you wake up and say, I'm going there tomorrow. It takes planning, it takes preparing, it takes so much funds, and it takes prayer. So I want to encourage you to say, rewatch this video at your time. Rewatch it, digest it, and I am not the Australia expert, but hopefully I can lead you to Yomi when you have questions. As I mentioned previously, she has a consulting company. Through that consulting company, she may consult for you for a few hours. She's not paying me for it or anything. But I believe that I want to make sure you know the right people to ask for the right things. So I would continue to find those right people on various topics and bring them to you. Yomi, do you have any last words for us?
Um, I just say tell people that don't be discouraged. Try as much as you can to put in all your efforts. Like this is the only chance you've got. Put in all your efforts in this, and at the end of the day, you are going to enjoy the fruits of this. Yeah.
You want to make that $1,500 per week? Gotta put in the work, folks. Well, thank you all for joining us today. I hope this has been helpful to you. And I'll see you again in 2 weeks. Until then, please feel free to help share this video with other people. There are a lot of videos on this channel that has solved a lot of problems. If you're looking to understand how to get to school in Australia, you're looking for funding, I have uploaded the video with Dr. Olumide on this channel. If you're looking to write to a professor, you don't know how to craft that email, there is a presentation there with Professor Charles. you're looking to understand the different pathways to migrate to Canada, that was actually one of the first videos I put out. IELTS help that I did with Feedback is one of the most popular video on this channel. You're trying to write IELTS for this path, you want to watch that video. All of this information we have made available for you. You're trying to get a job in Canada from Africa. I did a video with Tunde Tash that broke it down into pieces for you. Take your time, buy the data you need, spend some good time to watch this. Well, thank you so much, Yomi, for taking time in the middle of the night over there in Australia to have this chat with us today. We do appreciate you and wish you all the best in the rest of the certification program. We're
Thank
proud of
you.
you. And we're very thankful that you did this for us. Guys, you want to give her a round of applause for us? This is
Thank
our
you.
first time using StreamYard and streaming to YouTube. Please stay tuned. So you need to follow this channel because every 2 weeks, this is where we'll all meet now and get this going. This is goodbye for now, guys. I'm going to end the broadcast here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Adi. Bye.
Thank you.